So there are things that you can do in order to maximize your productivity and maximize your time. And so that's what I'm going to be sharing with you in the next few moments. So get your time back and add more hours to your day. So I'm going to be talking about a process or something that I call time fragmenting. Time fragmenting. Now, you may or may not have heard this term, terminology that's used in financial management, and fragmenting, or being able to gather the pieces, not of time, but money. If you view your time the way you view money, then you can understand how this would apply when it comes to your time. You need to look at your time as an investment, because the way you look at time, if you begin to view your time like you view money, then you will begin to see how this terminology or this process will apply. So how does time fragmenting work? Okay, time fragmenting works by identifying those small and seemingly insignificant pockets of time that add up to be hours of your time that you never perhaps considered before, right? So things like phone calls, texts, social media, emails, these are pockets of time that you really need to examine, and they can add up. If you are constantly, now, and here's the deal, if you are constantly, taking phone calls, responding to texts, on social media, checking your emails, without having some type of process in place or some type of way that you are monitoring these activities, then you are losing time, and these are fragments of time that will really add up and render you non-productive. Your inability to say no is another thing. That's another time fragment that will add up, right? Because if you're constantly saying yes to something, and that is going to zap you of the time that you needed to do something else, then that is another time fragment that you are losing and needs to be recaptured. If you're saying yes to something, then you're saying no to something else that needs to be done. And I'm kind of paraphrasing it, but you really need to learn the art of saying no. And when you don't have the ability to say no to something that is insignificant, and when I say insignificant, right, that's all relative, but you really, if you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, and you're really trying to get some things done that's going to save you time in the future, then you're definitely going to have to look at the things that you say no to, or the things that you say yes to when you should be saying no, right? So that's another time fragment. Multitasking is a huge time fragment. When you are multitasking, you are losing time, right? Because it takes you 15 to 20 minutes to regain your focus and your time when you're trying to get something done. So stop multitasking, because you're really fooling yourself into thinking that you're getting something done when in fact you are losing time. Another one, doing activities that should be delegated, automated, or even eliminated altogether. Listen, let me tell you, I have suffered with this as well. There are things that early on in my organizing business that I should have delegated and automated and eliminated. Okay, so if you look at the things that you're doing in your business, and perhaps what you need to do is reassign those tasks. Well, first you will want to categorize those tasks, and then begin to reassign them according to where you are where there should be, right? Because there are activities in your business that really need to be delegated because they're not producing the kind of results that you're needing to produce in your business. So these are all time fragments that really add up. And really, if you look at, the amount of phone calls that's unnecessary that you're receiving or making just because you're trying to procrastinate about something, or you allow someone to pick your brain, is if they schedule the time to talk with you and then they pay you for that time. Okay, then you can say, yes, I'll allow you to pick my brain, but it's going to cost you $75 or whatever, whatever you feel like your time is worth. So you definitely want to look at these time fragments that can really add up at the end of the day and render you non-productive and broke for the most part. Okay, so here are a few tips I want to share with you that I believe that will help you to really get your time back. Number one, you want to make sure that you review your goals often, whether it's immediate or long-term goals. And I'm talking, when I say often, we're talking reviewing your goals daily, okay? When you create your to-do list or however you operate, whether that is a calendar or whatever that is, review your goals often. Make sure that you review them often. So whether they're immediate goals or whether they're long-term goals, you need to review them often. Secondly, always determine which activity is necessary or not in achieving your goals. Just like I just said a few moments ago, there's going to be interruptions and distractions and phone calls and texts and emails that this activity needs to be scheduled in your day, right? And it's not, otherwise you're going to be doing things that's going to derail you and take you off track, right? So make sure that you determine which activity is necessary and or not in terms of achieving your goals. Use apps and calendars and tools that's going to help you to be consistent, reminders with your calendars. One of the things that I do, I have a two-part calendaring process or time management process. I do have a to-do list, but I write them down because it helps me to remember. Also, I do use a calendar, an app on my phone. I mean, it's just free. I mean, just a calendar because I want those reminders. I like to get a notification to go ahead and start this, and then it's time for me to stop, certain things. And, we can, that kind of actually reminds me of, another process that I'm going to share later in another video, but, time blocking and time chunking, but we'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, so you definitely will want to use tools and apps that's going to help you to be consistent. And again, learning to say no. Okay, I can't tell you how many times I have picked up the phone or, I have, responded to a text when really I just should have just, allowed it to, the phone call to actually go into voicemail until I can get back to them and respond, accordingly. So remember, don't let your productivity bank become depleted. Make sure to recover and capture those time fragments and waste nothing. Now, when I talk about wasting nothing, I am not talking about, how can I say this? Make sure that you are not, that you are leaving some time for flexibility, okay? You may have, children, you may have, things, you may even, work for someone that doesn't allow you to be so, strict and stringent in your in your time. Make sure you allow for some flexibility, okay? But you definitely want to look at this process for recovering and capturing those time fragments so that you're not wasting time doing things and doing activities that can otherwise either be, done by someone else or delegated, automated, or eliminated altogether. Now, if you don't do that, you will find yourself consistently overwhelmed, tired, and exhausted. You're going to have incomplete tasks or incomplete tasks, however you want to put it, tasks and projects that's going to be constantly on your brain, and that's going to cause you to feel overwhelmed because it's always on your brain. The thing is this, your brain is not there for you to hold all of this information. You should be processing information. Your brain is a processor, okay? Your productivity bank will be depleted, like I said.